guys, what's up and welcome to another episode of the TheGoodCastShow. So today we have a written guest in the form of Dewan Belia India Malaysia, and this time we'll be discussing the socio-economic issues revolving around our Malaysian Indian community. With me today we have another member of Dewan Belia India Malaysia who comes in the form of a dentist, Dr. Sivesh. Welcome, Doctor, to the podcast.
Thank you, Mr. Vinod.
Thank you so much for coming on. Again, very interesting. We're going to discuss a lot of issues regarding the Malaysian Indian community, and as well as perhaps Dewan Belia's, plans for the community. But before that, let's get to know you.
All right, sure.
So, you had a brief encounter with politics.
Yes.
So perhaps maybe explain that.
Okay, so basically I'm not a politician.
Okay.
Let's put that out.
Fantastic.
Okay. When I was about 18, 19 years old, I had this disconnect with the entire country and how it's running, the political background of it and the diaspora. So I tried to take my own initiative, go into politics. Okay, so I went first, tried to got into PSM, saw their motives, their agendas, their political grassroots movements, etc. And then moved over to DAP, learned a bit from them as well before heading to MUDA. I was in MUDA for about 2 years, was one of the main pioneers. The first 200 people went through interview process and all that. Realized that in July 2021 that it wasn't for me. Didn't find myself in the, I felt very disconnected still and all that. So I was like, okay, why not submit my resignation from MUDA completely? And at the same time, I was already dabbling in NGOs. So at that time, it was Why Politics. And then I was with Monsters Among Us, followed by a short, brief stint in Project Malaysia Kita. And then DBIM came. Okay, so I enjoyed doing NGO works more because you help people directly. Okay, instead of just also at points where you hand out aids, but you still be able to teach them and empower them to be self-reliant. DBIM is not a political party. It's just basically a platform where Indian youths are able to voice out their and understand policy making as well as what policies are, which is the biggest misconception that people do not understand in this generation, especially youths. There are more people who understand what's the use of policies, what a policy is for, how a policy is written, what's the need for a policy. So DBIM, engages and empowers youths on being able to learn and realize that, okay, this you're not just a voter, but the importance of being a leader for tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. So, let's get to it. Let's get to the Malaysian Indian community. I think it's nice that you're not a politician, as you say. But I have to ask this. I'm just curious. So, if you put aside PSM, DAP, and MUDA, what's the differences between the parties? Besides their political ideologies, perhaps maybe the way of operations, the quality of the leaders.
Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
That's the main thing, like you said, the political ideologies, the motto, and the leaders.
Okay.
They are the only differences.
Okay.
There's nothing else.
But in terms of difference, how are they different? In terms of the leaders.
So basically, it's more about what their agenda is and what their main points are, what their focus in. Like PSM is more grassrooted. Where you are seeing them doing a lot for the hardcore poor communities, those who are really struggling to get anything. But that's their focus. How about DAP? DAP is doing it in a bigger scale, where the connection with the public and in the public eye, because of the length they have been in tenure, it's longer, as well as, but at the same time, when you have too many parties in the same thing, your ideologies clash. So you can't seem to have one point in motion. You put a card to play, you need to also balance it all out. Okay. That's the difference between politics and NGOs. Yeah. So NGOs, you have a bigger voice.
So you left politics and now you are an NGO. Do you think that in your time in those political parties, do you think that any of them, or even the parties outside perhaps, do you think they have the best interest of the people in mind?
I would say 80% of them do. Okay, but when it comes to the main board, where you need to compete with every other political party in that constituency, definitely there are going to be some people who will not be happy with it. You know, in every challenge, there's a winner, there's a loser. In every political party, in every political agenda, there's someone who benefits and someone who loses. So definitely the 80% of it is always there. But that 20%, how big and how strong is that 20%?
Sorry, I don't understand what you mean by the 80-20.
Yeah. So the 80% of it have good intentions.
Oh, okay.
But the 20% of it who will lose out in any of that policies or doesn't benefit them, where do they go?
Okay.
You know? So that's the break and divide. But 80% is big.
It's a big number.
It's a big number. But how many policies has the 80%? You know, some of it is 40-60, some of it is 70-30, the balance of it. And that is where the breakdown of, okay, this party is doing this, that's why it's not right.
When you look at modern day politics, in terms of especially the other parties, you talk like Bersatu, PAS, you know, UMNO and all that. Do you think the way politics is going today, is it good for the country?
No. Just because of, it's the same exact politics that was there 70 years ago.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
If you see, I have this saying, from 1800 to 2000, the growth of technology and digitalization of media was nearly the same. Okay, but from 2000 to 2020 or 2025 per se, you know, you have crossed leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, in 1800s, the furthest you would know a person, a normal community, a person is maybe the opposite town where you're walking towards. In the 1900s, maybe somewhere where you can cycle to. In 1960s, somewhere you can drive to. But now, you can connect with a person all the way in Timbuktu.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
So when you talk about political agendas and the politics, modern day politics, it's the same because that hasn't changed, but everyone's mind has changed.
That's true. So there's a huge disconnect there between two. Now let's get to our community, the Malaysian Indian community. Of course, one of the things that we hear from the political sphere is oftentimes spoken when it comes to the Indians. It's always spoken on a very negative light, right? There's always negative issues surrounding our people. Do you think that we've been portrayed accurately by our community leaders and our Indian politicians?
Okay. Our community leaders and Indian politicians does not even make up of 1% of the Indian population in Malaysia. So how can they be portrayed? How can they even portray ourselves there? The only way we are being portrayed in the media is by having them in power. But to say that they are empowering Indians, we don't see that at all, you know? Whether it comes to economic empowerment, education. Yes, the only focus is always the elites and the hardcore poor. But what about the B40s, the middle class and the professionals? Yeah, which makes up the biggest group. Yeah, when you talk about economic empowerment, your only focus topic is, okay, the hardcore poor, we give them aid. But why is self-reliance never taught? Why is the stigma never broken? Okay, we had 70 years. Who is to blame, you know, other than the community itself? You know, because at the end of the day, politicians are not the one who makes all the decisions. Communities are. You can grow a community without the need of politicians.
Yeah, definitely.
Politicians can assist you, but you need the main ideology from the community. So I will never blame politicians because politicians are a certain way because they have their own rights
agendas,
and movements and strategies to play. But the community per se, where the very famous saying, the Nandaka, the crab story, where why instead of pulling the other fella down from the bucket, you climb up, the other fella pushes you up, you help him climb up. Both of y'all get out together. And that grows in motion, you know, like how I believe and what I try to do as well is, however I can help the Indian community, I try to help, whether may it be in small businesses or networking opportunities, you know. I would like to say, like, you know, I always tell my friends and all that, full-time dentist, part-time venture capitalist.
Just that.
Just that.
Perfect. Dentist by day, venture capitalist by night. I love it, man. But interesting you say that, and I do agree with you in that level. I think the over-reliance on politicians is getting crazy, and it's not really bringing us anywhere.
Correct.
But what do you think are the challenges that face the most pressing challenges that face the Malaysian Indian community?
Most challenging economic empowerment, the political education, political empowerment, rights to education, okay, and
Rights to education.
yeah, I mean rights to equal opportunity education.
Of course.
Okay.
Okay.
Unless you have the money to go and then you go to study, but if you do not have the funds, then it's very hard for you to pursue a tertiary education. And also the main thing is the political mindset, as well as easily said, up to today, if you're talking about, you know, politics and all that, we are still having issues on land and housing. Okay, housing, we have problem renting. That news always comes out in the media. Land, there's so many Indian settlements and temples. The land is being taken away, it's being demolished, but no one's saying anything about it. So, that's where we are losing out the most, you know. And the brain drain, the amount of people that's leaving the country because they have had enough. You know, they feel like they can get a better future elsewhere, even if they start from zero there. But they feel like, okay, it's better than Malaysia. Yeah.
Do you think that all these issues and this rhetoric that's put forth about the Indians represents people like you? People who perhaps come from the upper middle income and above. Do you think that the focus of politicians, do you feel it representing you, or is it oftentimes focused on just the B40 and below?
No, it's not even focused on the B40 actually. It's focused on the hardcore poor and the elites. Like I said, the B40s, middle class, professionals, never focused on. No light is shown. It's always about dependency on aid. You know, that is the biggest thing that needs to be broken. Self-reliance needs to be instilled into that. A mindset transformation from community level needs to be done to break the stigma of, oh, I'm depending on aid. I want help from the government because I cannot put my own. But train them into AI businesses, train them into wealth management, train them into mentoring and business opportunities, as well as agricultural farming. And you can see the Indians grow leaps and bounds.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Now, recently, of course, the Malaysian Indian Skills Initiative, MISI, announced the certified of professional competence (CPC) dangerous goods integrated truck driver training program. So, according to YB Prabhakaran, he said that this certification would enable lorry drivers to secure higher salaries and better job opportunities. What do you think about this initiative? Is it in the right direction?
It is in the right direction, but what's next? What's down the line in 20 years? Are the lorry drivers still being lorry drivers in 20 years? Okay. Why not? Why stop there? My question is, like, my suggestion is, if we can open up the spectrum to lorry drivers being able to own businesses, to own trucking companies, to own logistic companies, wouldn't it be better? Opportunities. We've always given, yes, every single aid given, financial aid or anything, you know, any initiatives, it's always on a smaller scale. It's never growing, you know, it's never at, okay, if I have this, what's the long-term vision of it? You know, it's always that, okay, this is given, and then that's it. how long is a lorry driver going to be a lorry driver? It's not about opportunities. It's not about job security. Okay, at the end of the day, it's about progression.
But do you think that sometimes we are a bit too harsh on these government projects? Because I've had many guests, sometimes when they come on and we do criticize, right? But sometimes, especially like in this case, MITRA, because this was announced by YB Prabha, but this is by MISI, right? At the start, do you think at least it's a good start?
It is a good start. It is a good start. But no matter the amount of programs that has been started, what is the end? It's always started, but there's no continuation of it. There's no addition of it. It's a good start. I'm never ever going to say that, oh, we should never do it. It's a good start. But what's next? My only question is always, what's next? If you give this to the lorry drivers, okay, you certify the lorry drivers, everything is done. But what's next is opportunities for them to grow higher, opportunity for them to train to be in a managerial position, opportunity for them to upskill their language and communication skills. That can all be incorporated.
So basically, you're looking for more of a holistic approach.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, that's a very good suggestion, actually. Now, we've seen MITRA. MITRA has been in the news for the wrong reasons I would say the past maybe 1 year.
Yeah.
But I would like to also highlight that I think now they are sort of, it seems like the gears are starting to move. They are basically working. What sort of programs would you like to see MITRA launch as a government agency that is charged with the transformation of the Indian community?
More AI programs to garner the middle class, upper middle class professionals, and also chances for the B40 community who are very inclined towards STEM to be able to go into cybersecurity, AI technology, and also into the digital marketing world. As well as the next would be agro-farming, to have specific land, to have specific lands for agripreneurs. There's a lot of Indians who are interested in farming but cannot go higher just due to, they do not have enough capitals. We come from an ethnicity of, our forefathers, our parents, and all that. They have given us what they could till that point. But the only problem we always have as the Indian community is our capital. You do not have the capital to start businesses. The fear of starting businesses to lose that capital, which is generational wealth. Okay, compared to every other races, our generational wealth is considerably smaller when you open it up in a very big percentile value. Okay, so when we have MITRA being able to provide training and education based on this, economic empowerment, TVET skills, AI technology, and also farming and agricultural land, we will see a growth. And then whole MITRA perspective will totally change, because your ideology of it is, okay, finally everyone is getting the help needed. You're not only concentrating on a certain community level, but you're giving equal chance. Because at the end of the day, people are just going to ask you questions because, someone is winning and someone is losing. Someone is benefiting, someone is not. The middle class always never benefited from anything.
That's true.
Especially in the Indian communities, So when you give them opportunities to grow as well, if, for example, you're already in software engineering, but you want to upskill yourself, but you cannot go in through, you have difficulties going in through the government sector and all that. MITRA giving initiatives to the Indian community, you feel like, okay, I'm being assisted. So I would not want to leave the country. My own country is helping me. Yeah.
Fair enough. That's true. But I think, MITRA they have the Indian Transformative Agri Program, they have cybersecurity programs now, they've come up. So well done to them. I think because for me, I just feel like sometimes, even in the past, I've done many interviews with people who oftentimes condemn MITRA. But I feel like, okay, let's change our attitude, let's give credit when it's due.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because they have done good things. Now, especially now, they are trying.
Yeah, they are trying. But the one thing is, it's not being, the amount of people who know about it. Okay? It's not in the papers. It's not easily obtainable. It's unless it's shared, like I usually share through DBIM, MITRA programs and all that I get. But other than that, I don't see it circulating anywhere else. It's like forwarded one way. You know, Indian family groups that forward messages every morning. Yeah. You get, you forward this, but you don't see it come back.
It starts with the whole good morning and then all these messages. Yeah, yeah.
So this is forwarded, but why isn't this forwarded in family groups? You know, you can forward every other thing, but why not things that develop our own community?
Definitely.
So at the end of the day, it starts at home.
Yeah, true. Now, MITRA has recently, they have proposed to the Ministry of Economy to be granted the mandate to monitor the implementation of programs and activities for the Indian community under the Rancangan Malaysia ke-13 or RMK 13 or the 13th Malaysia Plan. What's your thoughts on this?
Who's monitoring?
Who's monitoring the monitoring?
Yes. Who's monitoring MITRA?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's true. But MITRA falls under the PMO's office, so I think it should be Anwar.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you're trying to help the community. Okay. 2 points only. MITRA is assisting. Okay, MITRA wants to monitor. It needs to be a data-driven monitoring system. Okay. Inflow of cash into a program. Who's benefiting from the program? How many people are benefiting from the program? What's the end goal of the program? Okay. MITRA's programs have always been going well until bureaucracy, lack of vision, and political involvement ruin it. Okay? So this way, you need to have educators, you need to have economists, and you have people who are scientifically, in the STEM field, be a part of the community, of the monitoring team, because they would know better than just politicians per se. So you have a committee who monitors this entire thing, then it runs better.
So you're suggesting that MITRA needs to form like a special committee within itself to monitor. Yes. Yeah, that's fair. So people who know the field. I agree. Yeah, definitely. But now there is another very, I think it was quite a shocking update whereby concerning MITRA, they have sort of received a mandate to create a plan for the Indians, which will be inserted into the 13th Malaysia Plan. So this was huge. When I first heard, I said, wow, this is a step forward for Indians, right? I think YB Prabha, I think he talked about Tamil schools only. He's not talked about anything else. What do you think should be included in this plan for Indians that will be then included in the 13th Malaysia Plan?
Personally, for me, like I've been touching about, economic empowerment, how to build your wealth, because once you know about wealth management, you know about smart business goals, you can be able to start run your own business. Political advocacy. You train the youths, or you teach the youths that politics is not about what you see around you, but what are policies, how policies should be written, what's the use of policies, and you can from there move around and go elsewhere as well as talk about it, more opportunities globally. They have the STEM introduction and TVET, okay, digitalization, digital market, to be able to compete with foreign countries and being at par with foreign countries, where Malaysians do not have to go to other countries to seek jobs and all that, and we can be as qualified here with training and skills here.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring up STEM, because you are obviously a STEM student, right? But we are seeing now, and this is just a tangential question. We are seeing sort of a dip in the number of students who are interested in STEM, interested in even higher education. Why do you think there is a decline in number of students who want to register for STEM education?
Okay. To say STEM as a whole right now, it's lesser because of AI. AI does most of the job from STEM. So basically, AI stemmed from STEM. Okay, but a lot of people are interested in AI.
Yes.
That's the breakthrough, or the misunderstanding of the community, where STEM people are dropping in STEM but increasing AI. But AI stemmed from STEM. AI came from STEM. So it's a good thing that people are going towards AI, because at the end of the day, AI is a branch of STEM.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without STEM, there's no AI. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, this is, there was recently an announcement about a 30 million grant that was, I think it was sometime last year, a press release by MITRA. So this grant was given by the Prime Minister to the Malaysian Indian Skills Initiative, MISI. So in this time that MADANI has been in charge, do you think that they have done enough for the Indians?
What was the money used for? Okay. At the end of the day, yes, money is important, but what are the programs that the money used for? It's not stated anywhere. A clear, broad perspective, a broad understanding is 30 million was given to MITRA for MISI to run all these initiatives, but what initiatives were done? We do not know anything about it. And then how do we proceed where the understanding of wait, I just lost my thought.
No, it's a phone. I think distracted you.
Okay, so basically that 30 million is given, but we do not have a clear understanding of where the money is being used for and how the money is used. Okay, so we need a clarification on that. Yes, you gave them 30 million, but the outcome of it, how many people benefited from it? Same like, any initiatives. How many people are benefiting from it? How many people, what's the percentage of people who actually, got the benefits, as well as who did it reach? They reach the middle class, they reach the professionals, they reach the B40, they reach the hardcore poor, they reach the elites. Huh?
Yeah.
Same thing. You teach a man, you feed a man a fish, he eats for a day. But you teach a man how to fish, his entire generation is, happy, because he gets to feed the entire family, pass down the skill. Okay. So, with this 30 million, at the end of the day, where is the money going? Who is monitoring the 30 million? It's coming back, it's a full circle. It's always a full circle. Money given, poor bureaucracy, lack of vision, come back again. Money given, program, initiative started, lack of vision, comes back again. It's always a repetitive cycle.
So are you saying that you would like to see long-term plans put in place and then funded?
Yes.
Not the funding come first. You want to know what's the plan? Where are we heading?
Funding came last year.
Last year, yes.
It's been quite some time.
We take time to decide, man. Come on, calm down.
Yeah, but plan is not there.
Yeah.
Not even a basic plan.
Yeah.
So that's it. Like, at least a blueprint. That's why it's very important to have the committee with economists and historians, scientists. There's so many to choose from. You put them in a team. They'll be more than happy to help.
What's your thoughts about the 100 million that was given for the Indians in the recent budget? That was something that was quite, that was opposed, or there were a lot of noises made from it. So what do you think? Enough? Too little? Too much?
Any amount of money, if used wisely, is enough. But where is the money going? Where's the breakdown of it? People need to see the breakdown of it. Then people will understand. You're saying 100 million. Yes, 100 million, if compared to multiple billions, it's a small amount. But if it's put through the right channels, it's enough. I can give a business, okay, for example, you have two situations. Business A, business B. Business A gets 10,000 ringgit. Business B gets 10 million ringgit. Business A gets 10,000 ringgit, which comes with mentorship, ecosystem building, as well as business management. Whereas the 10 million does not come with anything. The person just gives you the 10 million. Which one will work and which one will fail? With the 10,000, definitely. So the value is not value is not important.
Like you're talking about incubators.
Yeah.
Which should be there first, basically. Yeah. We don't have that. We just give money away.
Yes.
Sometimes the money doesn't go. I
correct.
don't know what happened to it. Yeah. Went missing.
Yeah, went missing.
I mean, this is of course the month of Thaipusam,
Yeah.
the holy month of Thaipusam. So, in the lead up to Thaipusam, there have been a lot of interesting issues that have popped up. Very interesting, and I thought it'd be fun to talk to you about it as well. So recently, of course, there was a sort of recommendation by the Ministry of Islam or the Ministry of Religion that came up with a guideline for for Muslims attending non-Muslim
Yes.
events, right? And it must be said that the Jama Mantri has opposed it.
Yes.
Said no, that we don't need to. What do you think of it? Do you think that you need to be handing out manuals to your Muslim friends when they attend celebrations at your home?
Why is guidelines necessary?
Exactly. I don't know. Why.
Okay. We are only sparking unnecessary debates in Parliament,
I don't know.
wasting parliamentary,
Yeah.
wasting politicians' time.
That's true.
Okay, and also breaking creating a divide. Okay. We came so far. It's been nearly 70 years. Yeah, 68 years this year of independence. Yet the racial disharmony and disconnect always comes during any event and any occasion.
Any festival.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm sure there'll be something there.
Something's going to come up. Whenever there's an event or festival, something is going to come up. And it's been there for years after
You know, one thing
years
I've
after years.
noticed, the only festival that there's not much of racial issues is Raya.
Yeah.
Raya, nothing about
nothing.
Christmas.
Yes.
This is
Everything.
the key times.
Yes.
The key times.
I
right?
mean, for example, okay, you talked about Thaipusam this year. Last year, Deepavali, do you remember what happened?
Sorry, I don't.
Halloween decoration and Christmas decoration were out.
yes,
Deepavali was there.
yes.
So it's a cycle. It happens every year. I think the community,
I wonder what's going to happen next year.
the community was like, oh, these fellas are talking about this again.
Yeah.
Let them talk about it.
But interesting, because I've had some guests over who have brought up this point that they say that what we call or what we term as racial disharmony or the racial issues is not really with the people, but just with the leaders.
Yeah, true.
The people are fine.
Yeah, people
because
are fine.
even like yesterday near where I live, I saw this lion dance. They were doing lion dance. And there were Malays there. They were touching the lion and all that. Indians and Chinese, they were all there. It seems only with the leaders, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. Because, like, for them, you need to spark something. If not, there wouldn't be a debate in Parliament.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, you'd be like, parliamentary session would just be very calm. But you need some fire.
You are in the Dewan Belia, right?
Yes.
So you have attended,
Yeah.
parliament sessions and all that. Do you think that when you see this type of debates happening, right, that is it because of the modern day politician just wants leverage on social media?
Okay, touching on this, expanding, doesn't matter which country. I've attended parliamentary sittings even in the Senate in US.
Okay.
Even in the state Senate in US where it was Alaskan State Senate. Okay?
What do they talk there?
Same
Same thing.
Same issues.
Okay.
No matter.
What do you mean same? Give me an example.
As in, you have an opposition and you have a ruling party.
Yeah.
Okay? Someone is going to say something, someone is going to oppose. Normal debate. But sometimes it doesn't concern the surrounding community and public. Everyone else is fine. For example, Alaska is very high with their native population. But the natives are living happily. But still, there's a push between the settlers who came to US as well as the native people in the Alaskan state legislature. So this same like how the Indians, Chinese, Malays, everyone in Malaysia, they have their own disparity of multiculturalism. Okay, multiculturalism is very hard to exist. If you see any country, I mean, Malaysia is a multiracial country, and we are proud of a multiracial country. But there's so many multicultural countries in where the same issues that we experience in Malaysia are experienced there in their own setting. You know, probably for Heritage Day. So Alaska is very famous where they have totem poles. And at that point, the discussion was about the totem poles.
Okay.
Okay. whether to increase the number of totem poles or we have enough totem poles. But that's an issue.
Okay.
It's an issue. I've always looked at politics like a reality TV show. When when the TRP needs to rise and when the TRP needs to drop. And the TRP drops. Have you realized that at certain moments, the parliament setting, everyone watches parliamentary sittings when main issues and agendas are being brought about.
Yeah.
But I think for the last sitting, nothing much was being spoken about and people stopped talking about it. It was stopped going viral around and all that. Now it's back. You know, you need something to boost it up to get viewership.
But I mean, I have another theory. It's a theory. I don't know whether it's true. It's just my personal opinion. I think that all this is happening by plan because I have had the benefit of like having dinners with some of these people who who are within these parties. No matter which party they are from, UMNO and all that. When it's behind closed doors, they are very educated. They speak very well. You know, people I know people who know Najib who say that he's very intelligent guy, speaks well and all that kind of stuff. Is it a show that they make in front just to that? I feel that perhaps to demotivate the voter base, because if you look at 2008, that was when we had like, high turnouts during voting sessions, by-elections, GEs and all, high turnout, especially the youth. Yeah. Right, you had this you had this huge solidarity among voters, for change and all that. After that, post Sheraton move, it became very religious, racial, and all this. And you see now in by-elections, you see that the voter turnouts are dropping. Even Chinese are not coming out to vote for DAP. Do you think this is all part of the plan? That perhaps these people, they know what they're doing, but it's just to make it so boring and repetitive that you just say, you know what, nothing's going to happen. So why come out?
That's so many other theories as well, but that is one of the main theories.
Yeah,
that is actually the theory that's being used in the US election.
Okay.
Yeah, like when Trump won, before this, when Biden was in power, the voter turnout was lower than it was when Trump was, when the conservative was in power. But the divide is always there. It's just that every time there's a high point, there's definitely going to be a bottom point. So let's hope next GE will start increasing till maybe probably 1-2 GEs after it will reach the same high point it did in 2008. And that's where you can see major changes.
Okay, since you bring up elections, I always like talking about elections because it's fun.
Yes.
I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, there was an article that came out saying that apparently internal sources have said that Parti Bersatu, there's sort of like an internal memo going around to prepare for snap elections that's planned to happen end of this year. So it's probably a year ahead of schedule, a year plus. So if a snap elections happens now, 2 questions. Number one, who should the Indians vote for? Is it the PH bloc or is it the PN bloc? Okay, never mind. Let's start with that first. Who do you think they should vote for?
I would say check the manifestos.
But are manifestos to be trusted? Because we've seen the cases many times. Manifestos are thrown away.
You need liability and you need to be able to hold them accountable. You listen to the manifestos, but hold them accountable. If that political party has won in your constituency, was the manifesto held upon? If you know that it's not held upon, you know who to vote for. Give the other person a chance. I'm not going to say vote for this party or vote for that party, but at the end of the day, who did their job in their constituency?
Do you think the PN's biggest strength and weakness is PAS? Because having PAS gives them 2 states by default. 3 states. Kedah is PAS also, right? Kedah is PAS. Yes, Kedah is PAS. Kedah is PAS. Yes, Sanosi is PAS. And do you think that the fear that PAS, whether justifiable or not, that's a different topic, but the sort of apprehension that non-Malays have on PAS is the reason why they cannot win non-Malay votes?
They are winning non-Malay votes in Kelantan and Terengganu.
A small party,
But at the end of the day, it's the mindset of people. they have given up in Malaysian politics. The common man has given up in Malaysian politics. I wouldn't be shocked if people start, the non-Muslims start voting for PAS, because what did DAP do? What did PH do for them? Were they empowered? They are not asking too much. The middle class is not asking too much. We just want equal opportunities to be able to compete on an international level.
Yeah.
For us, it comes in the sense of, because we need to talk about finance, we need to talk about leadership, we need to talk about positions that we can hold to be able to grow and create a better future for the next generation. But if we keep being stepped on and not giving equal opportunities and needing to put in 500%, 600% more effort, okay, we are just going to leave. So you're losing, the thing is, it's not that people are not coming out to vote. They are not in the country to vote. They do not care about elections. The 2018 election, how many postal votes were there? Compared to the latest election, how many postal votes were there? So that tells you it tells you the whole story.
But yeah, I mean that is interesting. But do you think whatever Madani is doing now with all the issues that happened, do you think the Indians are served well?
The aids that are being handed, perfect. But
so that means you are saying that the handouts from the budget, whatever, is good enough.
Yeah, the handouts is being given, okay? But the self-reliancy of the people, you're not empowering the people. You're giving them stuff. What they need.
But whose fault is that? Is it the politicians' fault? Is it the NGOs' fault? Because I remember when during Najib's time, a lot of money was channeled out to the NGOs. I've worked with some of these NGOs and I've seen a lot big checks, $1 million checks and all that. But the money sometimes finds hard to trickle down.
Yeah.
So is it the people's fault? Is it the NGOs' fault? Is it the politicians' fault? Is it the leaders? I mean, whose fault is it?
3 people. Government, communities and NGO, family and individual.
Okay, let's go on one. So how is the government at fault?
Okay. The government is at fault for, like I said, money is given.
But where does it go to?
Yes.
Okay. Accountability. Yeah, monitoring.
Okay.
So MITRA is there, don't worry. Yeah.
But who's monitoring MITRA?
Who's monitoring the monitors? Yeah.
So it's always
It goes back.
Yeah, it goes back. So second, NGOs and communities. Are the NGOs being monitored? Okay. Where anyone checked the NGOs books and all that, Community. Who in that community is getting the funds and help? Because if you're in a community, someone is going to get the aid, but is that going to be passed down to your members of that community? How many percent of it is being passed down? And for you as an individual or your family, are you fighting for your rights or just accepting what's being given? It's something it's something that, you sit at night and just think about it and how, it just goes back again and
the
again.
circle of
the circle.
inaccountability.
Yes.
Is that even a word? I don't know. Unaccountability.
Yeah.
Now, recently, of course, as I said, we were talking about the lead up to Thaipusam.
Yeah.
There was an article in Malaysia Kini. It was an opinion piece by another previous guest in the podcast, Mr. Sudan, who's from MIPP. And he said that he would like to see this month turned into Indian Heritage Month to basically celebrate the contributions Indians had and all that kind of stuff to Malaysia. What's your thoughts?
It's a good idea, but does it have, what's the it cannot just be culture and performance. Okay, we need to talk about Indians who have played a part in science, politics, history, and the growth of the country and economy of the country.
But do you think 1 month is enough to sum that up? Considering Indians, we basically built this country. We founded it.
We founded the country. If you see a Black History Month,
I think
1 month.
1 month. 1
India,
month enough.
1 month enough. Okay, we have
At least
12
6.
months. Okay, we have 12 months. Why stop at the Indian Heritage Month, Chinese Heritage Month? There's so many ethnic groups in Sabah and Sarawak that people in Peninsula, even Peninsula, have ethnic groups that people do not know about. But these people, the main importance for having a Heritage Month is to teach the younger generations about the people who helped build this nation and obtain independence.
That's true.
Okay?
Yeah.
You can have an Indian Heritage Month, but you need to have every other ethnic heritage month as well. We have 12 months in a year. We have multiple public holidays. We have one of the most public holidays in the world.
Yeah, if not the most, I'm surprised.
Yes. But we need to train about the ethnics, the people who were on this land before even the Indians and Chinese came in, before even the Malays came in, the main people. They need to have a heritage month as well. Then we can talk about equal opportunities. If we have an Indian Heritage Month, but not any other race, then we are just creating another issue for no reason. Everyone needs to have. Everyone has their own history. Everyone has a story where their forefathers and their family helped build the nation. In one way or another. So everyone, you need to know history.
When you say equal opportunity, what are you exactly referring to? Are you talking about the NEP? What are you referring to?
I'm talking about way back, pre-independence, everything. History, even that's being taught in schools, it's always
Leaning towards one side.
Yeah, leaning towards one side. We need history to be out there.
It needs to be the truth, basically.
It needs to be truth, as well as so many ethnic groups that are just fading away, and still living in their settlements and all that stuff. Stories about them, because like how we studied about Rentab and stuff like that. But more than that, how can if I want to know more about this ethnic group, where can I find the source? It's not openly available. It's not there in schools. It needs to be there in libraries. Okay, it needs to be easily obtainable. Everyone needs to talk about it, because at the end of the day, our country or any country in the world is based off history. Once you forget your history,
You lose it.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, and it's happening now. People, our Malaysian history in the past 4 years was, past 6 years was more than
What it is
what it is for the past.
It changes all the
Yes.
time. It's like the moon in
Yeah.
different phases. Okay, so speaking of leaders, so of course another recent topic because of the upcoming Penang state elections is that they have questioned why has there not been an Indian chief minister of Penang, because Penang doesn't have the same limitations as other states. So what's your thoughts? Do you think that having an Indian chief minister will solve everything?
If he's good enough for the job, go ahead. But is it just a symbolic move? Is it just a symbolic move to put an Indian chief minister, because we never had an Indian chief minister? Or can he do more for the Indian communities and uplift the economic empowerment and economic stability of the Indian communities in the state? Okay, so at the end of the day, it's whether you can empower the people or is it a political facade.
Is that important though to you? Do you think the race of a leader is important
No.
to basically represent you?
The race of the leader is never important. It's what can he do for the state that's most important. Can he uplift the state to a point where he has done so much and he's remembered, instead of he's just another chief minister.
He's remembered because of his skin color, something like Obama and all that kind of things. But on the flip side, there was a recent study that was done, and they said they found that and majority of respondents to this survey were Malay Muslims, and they found that more than half of the respondents felt that the religion of the leader matters to them, because they feel like it's important to show that they represent their interests. So what's your thoughts about that? I mean, do you think that that's important at all, the person's religion?
For me personally, yes, because you relate to that person more. But at the end of the day, if that person relates to skin color wise and religion wise, but doesn't do anything for the religion and the community,
Exactly. Then you're stuck with like 1MDB
Yeah.
and all that kind of things. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. I brought up 1MDB. Perfect.
needs to be brought up.
That needs to be brought up again. Like, it's a hot topic now.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. We've touched about this, and but I guess I like talking to you because you're also a VC. I like that topic as well. So we've seen now a lot of handouts, grants, financial support given by KUSKOP, by Tekon and all that. And you are on record saying that you are completely fine with the 100 million plus 30 in the budget. Do you think enough's being done to stimulate the Indian entrepreneurship ecosystem, but based from the perspective of all the support given by the government?
Yeah, loans are good, okay, but they need education as well. These loans have to come with education. You need to train them on wealth management. You need to have mentorship programs. You need to give them access to government contracts. You need to give them access to international business. You need to give them access to digital entrepreneurship. When you have this, then perfect. But till you have this, no matter how much money you pump in, you're not gonna see the fruits of your labor. You're gonna give money to a person for the sake of, okay, I'm asking for a loan, but that person doesn't have any mentoring or any business strategies or education in the form of economical education, which Malaysians really lack because we are not taught that in school.
Yeah. Financial literacy.
Yeah, financial literacy. So that is where we are striving to reach. That's what we're striving to achieve. And till then, what can we do, and how can, no matter how much money is being siphoned in and how much loans are given, that's why people, suffer to pay back and all that. And how many businesses are sustainable?
I think Tekon, that's their big problem. Yeah.
How many businesses are sustainable and issues like that? That's the issues you face. Because at the end of the day, you are giving the money. Yes, it's a very good thing, but you're not training them how to grow the money and use the money wisely.
I just want to get, because previously when I had DBIM on also, I posed this question, and I like to know, it's just a curious thing. Who are the leaders that you look up to and the people that you think, who inspire you?
For me, personally, it's in Malaysia. Anwar Ibrahim doing very great job. If you see his history from 1990s and all that, he's doing. I look up to him, and I believe he's doing things for the good of the nation in the long run. People are not seeing it straightforward, but the moves he's making, it's some of it is to please the community, but most of it are also to build the nation. Other than that, you have Anthony Locke.
You like Anthony Locke?
Yeah.
Okay.
The way he carries himself and how he does, just leave aside all the other things that being heard. But when work needs to be done, work is done. Now that needs to be the way. At the end of the day, if there's an issue, you find a solution, not throw it on someone else.
Yeah.
You take accountability. At the end of
Okay.
the day. That's the most important thing.
And interesting you bring up PMX because in your opinion, do you think that, what is your thoughts when people say that a lot of things that he has said before during his campaigning, he's not doing now? For example, we are going to see a rise in the electrical tariffs and all that, which he previously said will not happen and all that kind of stuff. And he was very championing the middle income and below, saying, this is membebankan rakyat. Sorry, membebankan rakyat, my Malay. What's your thoughts?
I feel like, comparatively to the amount of percentage of things he has accomplished in a global scale is higher. But yes, the national scale, he has failed a lot. But on reaching and putting Malaysia in the UN setting and being able to give a speech at the UN setting, that is something, and to have great oratory skills. to be trending in other countries. I think that's, was one of his big points. But yes, in the nation itself, he is not following his manifesto correctly. But that happens in every country as well. You see a lot of leaders in various other countries, especially even in India or China and all that. You are looking good in the eye of the world, but not in the own nation. But I think that is an issue when it comes to prime minister and presidents. Where you try to be a global leader, but you cannot do the same for your own country.
That's true. What's your hope for this country? As a young voter, as a young man in politics, what's your hope for this country?
My hope is to see equal opportunities, maybe in the next coming 10 years and all that. So I don't experience a brain drain and want to leave the country. Because
you like this country?
Yeah, I like this country.
Yeah.
I have friends who have migrated and all that. But for me, I'm happy. I will help wherever I can help to grow. So basically, why do we need to depend on politicians when the community is the most important thing? I am all for building the community. Politics aside, building the community is my main focus. And every community in the government, when you talk about the outlook from the government side, maybe education and economic empowerment is the only thing I'm looking for. Okay, NGOs stop giving out aids. Okay, not as in like decrease giving aids, but also when you're giving aids, create self-reliancy. Do self-sustaining programs. Start self-sustaining initiatives that can go on for 10, 15 years without any hassle. Not just last you 3-4 months and then tutup kedai and
be more independent.
Yeah. And for individuals, know your value. Be politically aware. Economic empowerment is important. And also transform your mind. Stop depending on handouts. Handouts are only short term. You need to build your mind, be resilient, fight it all, and you can come to a position of power.
What do you say to people who may counter that by saying that, we can do all that if we are given the opportunity, but we are not because of our skin color?
There's always, the only reason the skin color comes out is because our own skin color don't support our own skin color. Simple. If our own skin color support our own skin color, you do not have to ask me.
You don't have to depend on somebody else.
I have a question for the audience. Okay, you've asked me a lot. I've answered a lot.
Okay.
One for the audience. Okay.
One for the audience.
So, if given a chance for Indians, you can only choose 3: political power, economic empowerment, or a transformed mindset. Which one would you choose? Because you can only choose one of these 3.
Interesting. I think economic empowerment. Because economic empowerment will lead to political empowerment as well.
True, but when your mindset is not right, when you're still depending on help, no matter how much economic empowerment is given to you, you will not know how to
use it.
Yeah?
Interesting.
But also when you have the mindset but you don't have economic empowerment, it's a double-edged sword. So but you can only choose one. We are at that situation right now.
But there are cases of, say, like Indian students, for example, who do very well in SPM, STPM, but then who are denied entry to medicine.
Yeah.
And what do you say to that?
No, that is where the main focus is. That's the main loss of the country because of equal opportunities. That was what I've been pushing on from beginning, Education opportunities and economic opportunities needs to be equal. You cannot you need to break the racial divide, you need to break the color divide, you need to break the religion divide only in these 2 areas. Because when you break it in these 2 areas, everyone has an equal playing field.
Okay. As a leader, although you may say you're not a politician, but you seem to have not left the political entirely. Now you're with DBIM and all that. So, I wouldn't be surprised if I see you in Parliament in a few decades. No. But just this, as an Indian leader, do you think the focus of Indian leaders for now should be at the micro level or at the macro level?
It should be at the micro level. We need to start at grassroots. We need to start at the grassroots. It needs to start again. DBIM is doing grassroots initiatives. MITRA is doing grassroots initiatives. But it needs to start at the grassroots level. Because we have had macro management, macro politics in the Indian scale. 1980s, 1990s, it worked very well. Then it just took a deep dive. So now it needs to start back from the grassroots. Build it up. Take about one generation, about 18 years. Make it strong. And then enjoy the seeds of the labor.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Doctor, for being on the podcast. I
Thank
really
you,
enjoyed
Mr.
this
Vinod.
conversation. I would
Me
love to
too.
have you on again.
Definitely.
More, I like the robust and bit casual concept, but I loved it. I liked your thoughts. Very interesting. So, guys, that's all we have for you all today. That is Dr. Sivesh from Dewan Belia India Malaysia, DBIM. If you guys want to find out more about DBIM and Dr. Sivesh himself, we'll be sharing his links together with DBIM in the descriptions of all the videos coming up on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and Spotify as well. So drop them a message, and perhaps maybe you could be the next member of DBIM and changing the Malaysian Indian community for the better. Thank you, Dr. Sivesh.
Thank you, Mr. Vinod.
Thank you, DBIM, for making this happen. We'll see you all soon. Take care, guys. Bye.